Esthero. Catman knows nothing about Esthero, but I found out in the making of this review that she has a very long face. No offense to her, but that was the first thing that stood out to me. I've never heard of her really. Maybe she was popular in the late 90s, or maybe she was more underground. Who knows? The beats on this album are generally very chilled out. Esthero is a good singer. I like the way her presence is much more low-key on some tracks, and she lets the beat take the forefront to just make the song vibey. And then you have other songs where she takes center stage, like Heaven Sent and That Girl. On those songs she really proves herself as a vocalist. I kinda hate to say this because I get annoyed when people make these sorts of comparisons, but there are a few moments where she sounds like Bjork, like the inflections in her voice near the end of Heaven Sent. Good use of guitar in the instrumentals, sometimes has like these bursts of drum and bass that are pretty cool as well, and generally it feels nice and inclusive in the sorts of instrumentation it uses across the album, without ever breaking the consistent sound and feeling the album has. Many of the beats have a nice level of emotion to them, often kind of blue and down, but never like to a miserable extent, and more in like a cool, I guess, noir way. This album does a lot of sampling, but also it has a decently sized track list of instrumentalists as well. I bring this up really to say that I think the sampling is very well done, because it always fits into the beat so snugly and naturally. Really, the production is great generally, and does a lot of little things, and has little quirks that are fun to catch as they happen. Many songs have sections where the beat changes to become more ethereal, and it's usually quite effective and comes with a burst of emotion. I like that a lot of the song topics aren't really typical at all, and they have a good amount of personality and honesty to them. The love songs on this album always feel realistic rather than sappy. I will now go through the track list and give my thoughts on each individual track. We start with the title track, Breath from Another. This is a pretty wild intro for this album. It starts off with a sample of that one moment from Deliverance. You know, that one fucked up moment. I'm not really sure why, I'll be honest. I like the breaks that kick in on the chorus. This part of the song is really breezy and relaxed, contrasting with the more hard-hitting beats in the rest of the song. This is a song about not selling your soul. That sort of shit is right up my alley really, so it's a good way to kick off the album. There's a couple rap verses on this song and this song only, no other songs on the album, and I reckon it's the only element across the whole album that feels a little bit jank. They're not particularly good rappers, and they don't drop very memorable verses, and really I just don't see the need. But it's a good song overall. Heaven Sent is a song about just murking someone. Again, the chorus is really good. It explodes with more rock-based instrumentation. There's this little bridge where the instrumental gets really cool, with all this scratching and a more dramatic tone to it. It has a very cool feeling to it. Why is this girl so psychopathic though? She ain't just killing someone, it's like she has all these rules and shit about it too. And it's like she craves the person's death. Spooky stuff. And on such a calm, contemplative beat for the verses too. It really is mental. I like it a lot. After a couple listens it became really catchy to me. Anyways is about hoping a lover could save you from the cold emptiness of being alone. This beat is the most relaxed and fresh up to now on the album. And I love all the little piano notes and the electrified bass grumbling underneath it all. That Girl has bad vibes to it, like insecure, anxious vibes, but there's a good catharsis in it too. The song is about her trying to carve out her own lane and leave her old self behind, when she can't leave it behind, and just feels totally out of place trying to fit into this new way of life that she's not compatible with. Love how kind of scrappy the beat is on The World I Know. Feel like it's sort of the opposite of the last track, as it's not looking at what she's trying to fit into anymore, but where she comes from. That being a world too slow. A world she wants a lover to save her from and make her life meaningful. This song gives us context for why she's trying to force a change in her personality and life. She's willing to attempt to change herself so that she can save herself, but in attempting to do so, she comes to find she can't really leave herself behind. Ties into the loneliness discussed earlier in the album too, something she seems to want to desperately escape. There's a great deal of emotion in this beat, such a longing. Ultimately, it's another song which is expressing a desire to be loved. Half a World Away is about an illusory relationship. She engages in it knowing the falseness of it, and that she's being lied to, and the whole thing just doesn't even feel real to her, making her devalue herself to the level she doesn't feel real anymore and dissociates from reality often. It's almost like gaslighting, but she knows she's being gaslit and actively participates in it out of desperation. The song is pretty beautiful, and again it has this cool feeling to it. Many of the songs on this album are beautiful, to be fair. Lounge has this kind of dub bass line to it that I like a lot, and acting in accordance with its title has like lounge percussion and trumpets going off. I'm not really sure what this song is about, I'll be honest. The lyrics are kinda abstract, but the track is very vibey. If I had to guess, the song is about finding power and being single after waking up to how her man mistreats her. But I think she still misses him and needs him. And I think this because of the repeated words. If he could see his way to daylight, and speak soft love, softer love. Basically, she still wants him, but she wants him to change and treat her how she needs to be treated, or she's just gone. You can't stop her from leaving. That's the best I got, but I feel it ties nicely into the themes of the album. Superheroes has this strange, subtle screeching noise for it. I kinda fuck with it though. This song is about sex, but in an intimate tantric way, and not a raunchy propagative way. The writing really focuses on the connection between them, and she is trying to convince herself that she is still in the prime of her youth, that she is everything he could possibly want. Even in this moment of ultimate connection and what should be security, she feels insecure. The beat has this funky bass line I fuck with, and once again, it's very airy. Far as I see it, Indigo Boy is about the death of a leader's spirit. It would seem that the spirit was beaten out of the Indigo Boy by those who oppress him, and now the followers have dispersed and lost what drives them. Esthero being the last follower left, singing this song. There aren't many lyrics to work with, to be honest. I would say it's one of the weaker songs on the album, because the beat doesn't really do anything that we haven't already seen, and feels just kinda standard for this album. But also the lack of substance to chew on. I guess you could say it's just meant to be a very clear message. I really like the beat on Swallow Me. The drum pattern feels a little off kilter, and there's this constant whirring sound that never lets up. And also these little boinging sounds too. The song is basically an expression of how important music is to her, and that this is all she needs to express herself and to fight. She remarks upon how powerful music can be, how deeply it has affected her, and how it's formed her into being who she is. I love the swelling strings that come during the chorus. Music is the man that holds her, and for all she cares it can swallow her. She gets lost in it and feels comfortable delving deep into its depths, being totally enveloped by it. Great ending to the album really, and a great celebration of music. There is however a hidden track, after about 5 minutes of silence. As is the case with a lot of hidden tracks, it's kind of way more mental than anything on the album, with these disharmonious and kinda like hungry guitars. Cool bass line going on, feels very jammy overall, I rate it. Instead of Esthero, we have this volatile, crying synth singing in her place instead. Very groovy, very cool. I think there are some consistent themes on this album, one being dissociation. Trying to force herself to change in many different ways makes her feel lost, not being sure what her identity even really is. She ends up not even feeling real, and pursuing romance based on an idea and not assessing the details and reality of the relationship she's in, and how she may be being used or mistreated. Another theme is loneliness, and a need for this to be solved by love. Really, this factors into a whole loss of identity shit, because this loneliness is what fuels it. She's willing to chuck away parts of herself if she thinks it will help her chances in love, not really considering the damage she's doing to herself and how she is devaluing herself. I think overall this album is actually quite introspective. Really, I feel like it's been a while since I've enjoyed a trip-hop album as much as I did this one. Very soothing, cool, relaxed, breezy album with very satisfying song topics. I give it 8 cats out of a possible 10 cats. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for this review. Subscribe to The Catman Show, leave a like, leave a comment. Goodbye.